Hello, everybody. I'm Skip Elsheimer. Welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime streaming show. We just watched some silent footage from our good friends at Oregon Archives. We scanned some films, and that was just kind of raw footage of it just said written on the can, 150 mile per hour train test. So I have no other information beyond that. That's kind of the way it is. You know, we put it out there in the world, and then somebody says, "Oh, I know about that," and then blah blah blah. Then they tell us about it. Like they say, here's a newspaper clipping, or I was there at that test, or my father was there at that test. So that's why we kind of do what we do. We digitize stuff that we kind of don't know what it is, and we put it up online and see what the world tells us. And sometimes that information is not right, but it's part of that process. Here's a wonderful film about dental hygiene, dental health, how and why.
Whenever you laugh or smile, you show your teeth. Naturally, you want them to look healthy. Don't good-looking teeth add a lot to Dorothy's smile? What about Eleanor? Healthy teeth, happy smile. Yes, everyone is thinking about his teeth this moment. The nurse has come. Not everyone has such healthy teeth. Look at Sam. Sam has never taken very good care of his teeth. Judy's teeth are not growing in right. She needs dental assistance too. Perhaps a set of braces like Tom's. In a short time, Tom's teeth will be straight, and he can have a good-looking smile. Yes, teeth can be healthy, clean, or stained. But whatever their condition, your teeth need regular care. Did you know there are 4 different kinds of teeth? There are incisors, or cutting teeth, to cut food. Next are the cuspids, which tear food apart, and the bicuspids, which crush food. Then there are molars, or grinding teeth. A grown-up has 12 molars. And what does a tooth look like? Here is a lower molar. If we could see inside the tooth, it would look something like this. The hard enamel covers the top part of the tooth. Inside, the parts are softer, the dentin and the pulp chamber, where there are tiny blood vessels and nerves. The tooth rests in a cushion with blood vessels here, too. When you chew, the tooth moves in the cushion, something like this. Chewing your food helps to keep your gums healthy. So now we can see how our teeth work for us and why it's important to keep them well. Jerry knows that there are certain foods we should eat to help keep our bodies healthy and develop healthy teeth. Why, this very morning, Jerry and his sister Susie started with a good, nourishing breakfast. The whole family eats a good breakfast because eating the right foods can help you to keep healthy, and your teeth will have a better chance to grow and develop. Oranges, in fact all citrus fruits and many vegetables, contain vitamin C. Vitamin C is important for good health and for good dental health, too. Grown-ups, too, eat plenty of vitamins and minerals to help keep mouths and gums healthy, even though their teeth are fully developed. The growing body needs a well-balanced diet, including eggs, poultry, fish, or meat. And milk, too. Milk is one of the very best foods for children because it contains calcium and also vitamin D. A well-balanced diet includes butter and fresh fruits and vegetables, too. At lunchtime at school, Jerry drinks milk and eats the right kinds of food. There's a meat sandwich made with whole wheat bread and lettuce. Jerry's having lunch with Sam. But what is Sam eating for lunch? Those sweet, sweet foods full of sugar might easily lead to decay in Sam's teeth. And soda pop is usually full of sugar, too. What has made Sam's teeth decay? Decay may start from a bit of sweet food next to the enamel. An acid is produced that slowly eats into the enamel of the tooth. If the cavity is not filled right away, decay spreads much faster in the softer dentin, and you may have a toothache. If still neglected, decay gets into the pulp chamber, causing an infection and perhaps other serious trouble. Jerry doesn't want his teeth to decay like that. If he were home, Jerry would brush his teeth right after meals. But at school, Jerry cleans his teeth by eating an apple or an orange or a raw carrot right after lunch. Jerry's dentist advised him to do this and to rinse his mouth after meals to help keep his teeth clean. In the evening after supper, in fact, right after meals whenever he can, Jerry always brushes his teeth. He knows in school, Jerry learned this is the way to clean your teeth. The brush sweeps like a broom, away from the gum and along the teeth, so the bristles can move between the teeth and push food out. Brush the front teeth and the back teeth and the chewing surfaces. Brush at least 5 times on each surface. Jerry uses a tooth powder or paste recommended by his dentist. Brushing the teeth like this after meals may help to reduce tooth decay. What's this? Why, it's a chart for Jerry and Susie to check after they clean their teeth. So Jerry and Susie will be sure to clean their teeth after every meal. Next morning, they've all cleaned their teeth after breakfast, and, why, what is Susie looking at? It's the calendar, and today both Susie and Jerry have an appointment with a dentist. Each one of the family visits the dentist at least twice a year. Well, here's Susie in the dentist chair, ready to have her teeth treated. And Jerry's watching Dr. Wright and his assistant. Dr. Wright has been giving Susie fluoride treatments for some time to help prevent decay in her young teeth. Before the first treatment, Dr. Wright cleaned Susie's teeth very thoroughly, much better than Susie could by brushing them herself. Then he dried the teeth and wet all their surfaces with a fluoride solution, just as he is doing now. For many children, this treatment has reduced tooth decay. Jerry has already had fluoride treatments, and he will have another treatment later for the rest of his permanent teeth. But there are many other ways in which your dentist cares for your teeth. If they do become decayed, the dentist can repair your teeth with his fine precision instruments. Probes to help find decayed spots. Drills to clean out cavities, and brushes and polishers to clean your teeth. Your dentist will help you care for your teeth. Even when your teeth seem all right, you should see your dentist as often as he suggests. Well, now it's Jerry's turn. He's glad to have Dr. Wright look after his teeth. Dr. Wright will clean them and fill any tiny decayed spots before they get serious. And Jerry's teeth will stay sound and healthy and attractive. Now, let's remember what we've learned about dental health. Eat the right foods. More milk and fruits and vegetables and meat. Not so much sticky, sweet foods. Keep your teeth clean, using the method your dentist recommends. Clean your teeth after every meal. And be sure you see your dentist often. Regular visits to your dentist can help you keep your teeth healthy. You'll want to care for your dental health just the way Jerry and Susie do. Remember, they have sound, healthy teeth, and they want to keep them that way. And remember, too, that sound, healthy teeth help keep the rest of your body healthy. And what's more, don't they look fine?
Lots of Colonel Ripper quotes showing up in the comments. Colonel Ripper, of course, our wonderful character from Dr. Strangelove, which I actually have on film. I actually have a film print, a 16 print of it. So, man, I love that film. It's so good. The characters, it's so well cast, and yeah, it's just really brilliant. Anyways, so a long time ago, I did a show where I showed dental hygiene films, and we gave out plaque candy, the little red plaque disclosing tablets, and it was a lot of fun. I wanted to do that again someday, back when we are in person. This next film is actually on the telecine, which is behind me. It's a film transfer machine. And this is a Hungarian film, and hopefully this won't bring down the copyright hammer. So here we go. Crafty Animal Capers. I'm sure this film was very popular with kids. Kids love seeing animals interacting like that. A lot of the films that I have by Cornet and Encyclopedia Britannica have these kind of animal fables where animals are doing these different things, and it's just, I think kids just like that stuff. What do we got? I think it's time to learn some good health practices. We didn't see some positive ones there, so here's some good ones.
Did you ever think how much fun it is just to be alive when you feel healthy and well? Judy and Jim are well almost all of the time because they follow good health practices. And because they are healthy, they have fun almost all of the time, doing all kinds of things. Of course, anyone can have fun playing in the snow or at the beach, but Judy and Jim have fun doing their work too because they are healthy and well. Good eating practices help Judy and Jim stay healthy and well. Jim knows that his body must have food, just like an automobile must have gasoline. Gasoline is the fuel that a car's engine must have to keep running. The engine uses the fuel to make power, to move the car. To go fast on the highways, to climb steep hills. Your engine needs fuel too. Food is the fuel that you must have to get strength for play and for work. Your body uses fuel all of the time, even when you're sleeping. Yes, brain work takes a great deal of fuel. Different foods must go together to make the best fuel for you. Mothers know how to put these foods together to make healthful meals. When the foods are together the right way, we call it a balanced meal. See if you can name the foods in the balanced meal that Judy serves to Jim. Young children don't have to know all the ways that food should go together. Your job is to learn good eating practices. First, eat slowly and chew thoroughly. Food makes the best fuel when it is eaten slowly and chewed thoroughly. Second, eat all of the food that is served to you. Then you won't run out of fuel when your engine needs it most. Third, don't eat too many sweets. Sweets are party food for special times. Fruits always are a good dessert. And fruit helps you to follow good toilet practices. Here is another way in which you are like an auto. There is always some waste to get rid of when the engine uses fuel. That's why cars have exhaust pipes. There is always waste to get rid of when your engine uses the food you eat for fuel. Good toilet practices means getting rid of the waste at the right times in the right ways. It's a very important practice to wash your hands each time after going to the toilet. Jim and Judy go to the toilet after breakfast each morning and before going to bed each night. You should follow the practice of going at regular times like this. But of course, you should go at other times too. Always go to the toilet when you feel like going. Don't be bashful or silly about toilet habits. Remember, an engine can't run when the exhaust is stopped up. Some foods help to keep you from getting stopped up. It's a good toilet habit to eat plenty of fruits, green vegetables, hot cereals, and dark bread. They all help you stay clean inside. Staying clean inside and outside is a part of being healthy. So, staying clean is another important health practice. Judy and Jim bathe before breakfast each morning on school days. Some people bathe before bedtime each night. It isn't so important just when you bathe, but washing all over once a day is a fine practice for good health. Keep your hair clean. Long hair like Judy's needs extra washing and brushing to be clean and glossy. In clean clothes, fresh as a daisy, Judy is ready for school. Jim likes a shower better than a bath. Either one is fine, so long as you use plenty of soap and plenty of hot water and plenty of elbow grease, like Jim is doing. Jim does a good job of washing his hair, too. Spick and span in his clean clothes, Jim is ready for morning inspection. Do you think Jim will pass inspection? Well, let's see. Neck clean? Yes, indeed. Ears? No dirt there. Now, what about those hands? Clean as a whistle. Jim follows good practices in keeping his hands clean. Hands will get dirty. So remember, after playing games, after playing with animals, and always after going to the toilet, wash your hands with plenty of soap and hot water. Wash your hands before handling food. Before setting the table. And especially before brushing your teeth. Can you think why these before rules are so very important? Keep your fingernails short and clean. When dirt gets under your nails, even soap and water can't wash it out. It takes some digging to get nails as clean as Jim's. Now, who is this? A football player. And who is this topsy-turvy person? Why, it's Judy, having fun at the beach. Yes, the beach is a wonderful place to have fun, if you are careful to guard against sunburn, and if you don't get too tired. You know, even a football player needs to rest once in a while. When you are tired, you're like a toy car with its spring run down. Rest is what winds the spring, so you will be ready to run again. It looks like Jim's spring is wound up already. Looks like Jim is all ready to run again. There, you see? Jim is not tired now. But good rest practices mean resting when you should rest, not just when you feel tired. On vacation days, when they're playing hard, Judy and Jim take a rest after lunch. They take it easy for at least an hour to give their food a chance to digest. Then they're ready to play again until it's time to go home. Getting plenty of sleep is the most important rest practice. Young people need much more sleep than grown-ups. And remember other health practices when you get ready for bed. Going to the toilet to stay clean inside, washing with soap and water to stay clean outside, and brushing your teeth to keep them clean are good health practices to follow every night at bedtime. Being clean, outside and in, helps you to get a good sleep. Your body rests better when it is clean. A healthful, balanced supper helps you get a good sleep, too. And while you sleep, your body will use the food to build strength for another day. You see, health practices go together to build strong bodies for work and for play. There are so many beautiful and interesting things in the world to see and to do. Why not let good health practices help you to happy days all of your life?
There's a part 1 to that film, which I don't have. Rick Prelinger does. But part 2 is so good because it talks about number 2. Just the good toilet practices. Don't be foolish. Blocking up a tailpipe. All those wonderful euphemisms for constipation. I love it. Avis Films, I have a couple of films that they made. One about the Pledge of Allegiance, one about abacuses, and of course the most popular one in my collection is Soapy the Germ Fighter, which is a phenomenal film where a boy is haunted by a giant cake of soap. It's kind of got a puffy shirt and is kind of a cowboy, but not really. Yeah, it's very odd, wonderfully odd. And Soapy is how I met Rick Prelinger. Basically, I had acquired a bunch of films, a lot of films, 500 of them, and this isn't part of the first batch, and we had a lot of duplicates, and so I was trying to figure out a way to sell them, and I put together a little catalog of duplicates that we had, and I sent it to the Mystery Science Theater people. And they wrote me a nice letter and said, hey, we have people that we work with in New York, but we've passed your catalog on. And then a couple of months later, I get a phone call from Rick Prelinger in New York introducing himself. I knew who he was kind of through the collector world and his reputation. And we became best buds, and we've been working together on different projects, digitizing a lot of his stuff, putting it on the Internet Archive, etc. And more recently, I've been working with Mystery Science Theater people who are working on a new season, and they've been tapping me for different new shorts that have not been done before. So I'm pretty excited about that. It's all kind of going full circle. Thank you, Tim, for the coffee, man. Tim is a longtime watcher. He's been watching us since the beginning, he says, and he went to buymeacoffee.com/avgeeks and bought us some delicious, hot, steaming coffee to complement the steaming hot day that we are in. No, we are in air conditioning, and there's a fan behind me that you can probably hear blowing just to kind of keep it circulating. This is when I personally take 2 or 3 showers a day just because I'm so sweaty and hot. It's just gross. Times like this, I just want to live underground in a bunker somewhere where it's a constant temperature. Maybe one day. Maybe that'll happen. All right, where are we? Okay. Here are cooking terms, what they mean.
Yes, sir, wedding bells finally rang in the life of Margie Blake. Back from their honeymoon, she and Tim are headed for a life of wedded bliss, they think. Yes, the honeymoon is over for Tim, now that he starts back to work. And it's over for Margie, too. as she enters her bright new kitchen to cook her first meal. Can she prepare those favorite dishes of Tim's, just like his mother used to make? What would he like for dinner? He just loves chocolate cake. Go ahead, try one. All you have to do is follow the recipe. This is going to be easy. Let's see, what's next? It says, cream butter until soft and smooth. Cream the butter? Better get the cream. That's right, pour it in. The recipe says cream the butter, so put in lots of cream. Just look at that silky smooth texture of that batter. Will Tim be surprised? Will Tim be surprised? No, Margie, your cake didn't turn out so well because you misunderstood a term in your cookbook. You'll find that your cookbook contains many terms which pertain to cooking alone. It is necessary for you to know what these terms mean before you can interpret recipes properly. To cream butter merely means to work it with an instrument until it becomes soft and smooth. There are many other terms you should know. For example, you must stir the ingredients in your chocolate cake. To stir is to mix food materials with a circular motion to secure a uniform consistency. Later, you may be required to beat egg whites stiff but not dry, or so that they hold the greatest amount of air without losing their elasticity. You may have to fold two substances together. The process of folding combines two motions, cutting vertically through the mixture and turning over repeatedly by sliding the instrument along the bottom of the bowl. The purpose of this motion is to prevent loss of air from the ingredients. In making a frosting for that same cake, you may boil a sugar syrup. To boil is to cook at such a temperature that bubbles rise continuously and break on the surface. Later, your frosting recipe may call upon you to perform the test for the soft ball stage. And this is performed by adding a few drops of the substance to very cold water. If the drops form soft balls that can easily be flattened with the fingers, the material is at the soft ball stage, or a temperature of 235 degrees Fahrenheit. The frosting may have to be beaten. This may be done with an electric mixer. To beat by hand is to make a mixture smooth, or to introduce air by using a brisk, regular motion that lifts the mixture over and over. The making of this cake and the frosting on it involve the terms cream, stir, fold, boil, soft ball stage, and beat. Almost all bread and roll recipes call for kneading the dough. To knead means to manipulate with a pressing motion, accompanied by folding and stretching. In cooking meats, other terms are used. Less tender cuts of meat may best be cooked by stewing. When applied to meats, this means to add a small amount of water and simmer until tender. To simmer is to cook in water just below the boiling point, or at a temperature of approximately 185 to 195 degrees Fahrenheit. Other cuts of meat might be cooked by braising. First, the meat must be dredged. To dredge simply means to coat with flour, cornmeal, or other fine substance. Your recipe will usually tell you what should be used. Next, you must brown the meat. This is done by cooking in a small amount of fat until brown. Be sure to brown the meat on both sides. The third step in braising is to add water and cook by simmering. So you see that the term braise includes three other terms: dredge, brown, and simmer. Of course, braising is only one of the many, many ways in which we can cook meats. One of the most popular is roasting. The terms roast and bake mean the same thing: to cook by dry heat. But before you actually start to roast the meat, you may sear it. This is done by the short application of intense heat. And causes the surface of the meat to turn brown in color. It is done to improve the flavor and appearance, but does cause greater loss of juice. The oven temperature should then be reduced to proceed with the roasting. Suppose Margie's cookbook told her to marinate the vegetables before preparing the salad. Would she know what to do? To marinate means simply to saturate the food with a marinade. A marinade is an oil-acid mixture, which is usually a kind of salad dressing. The mixture is usually allowed to stand in the refrigerator for some time. Sometime during your career as a cook, you'll decide to serve scalloped cauliflower. This involves even more terms. A white sauce should be made first, and the first step is to scald the milk, or to heat it to a temperature just below the boiling point. While the milk is heating, add flour to melted fat in amounts called for by your recipe. Stir rapidly to prevent the formation of lumps. Scalding is complete when a scum forms on the surface of the milk. Add the milk slowly, again stirring constantly to avoid lumps. Notice the scum, which indicates the milk has been scalded. Meanwhile, the cauliflower must be boiled until tender. Put alternate layers of boiled cauliflower, grated cheese, and white sauce in a greased baking dish. A layer of breadcrumbs on top if desired. And bake in a moderate oven until brown in color. So you see, in this case, the term scallop includes the other terms: white sauce, scald, boil, and bake. One of the real tests of a cook is their jelly making, and the crucial point in making jelly of any kind is in knowing when it is cooked. A jelly test indicating a temperature of 220 degrees Fahrenheit is frequently used. One of the satisfactory jelly tests is the sheet from a spoon test. This is performed by allowing a small amount of the juice to drop off a spoon. When the last two drops run together and sheet from the spoon, the jellying stage is reached. The jelly should be removed from the fire at once. These are only a few of the terms you will have to use and understand. How can you learn the others? Well, most good cookbooks have a glossary of terms in the appendix. Let's see if Margie's cookbook has one. Yes, even Margie's cookbook has a glossary. Cream. To soften a fat with a spoon or beater, you also to combine the softened fat with sugar. If she had only looked at this before she baked that cake. But wait a minute. There's still time to bake another cake before Tim comes home to lunch. It'll be right this time, and he'll never know the difference. Yes, even Margie found that she could learn to cook when she discovered the significance of the terms used in cooking. And Tim will never know she ruined her first cake.
I guess the question is it worse to ruin a cake when you make it, or to make a delicious cake and then have it ruined by raccoons? That's today's AV Geeks question. What we got? Oh yeah, so I had mentioned that there were some mining films, first aid films, that we showed one, transportation first aid. This one, I said that there were some that were filled with some fake injuries, and this is one of those. This is burns and scalds. So enjoy. Now remember, all the things that are in here are all makeup. It's not real burns or scalds. They look gross, but they're not real.
Burns and scalds are injuries resulting from contact with fire, electricity, friction, steam, or boiling liquids. They are classified by the degree of injury to the body tissues. The seriousness of a burn or scald depends on the size of the area affected, as well as the depth of the damage to the tissues. First-degree burns are the least serious. They involve only the outer skin, which is reddened, accompanied by slight swelling. Second-degree burns affect the underskin and result in blisters. Third-degree burns are burns in which the skin is destroyed and the tissues underneath are damaged. In severe cases, muscles, nerves, and blood vessels may be destroyed and the whole area charred. When a large portion of the body is covered by second-degree burns, death may occur, but a much smaller area injured by third-degree burns can also cause death. Physical shock is chiefly responsible for deaths that occur during the first day or two after the injury, and when burns are extensive and shock is severe, death frequently occurs in the first few hours. First, remove all clothing from the injured area unless it is stuck to the skin. If it is, cut away the clothing around it. First aid treatment for burns and scalds is aimed primarily at excluding air from the affected area, relieving pain, minimizing and treating for shock, and preventing infection. Cover burns or scalds as soon as possible with a clean, cold, moist dressing, made from gauze or bandage material that has been dipped in cold water or into a solution of 3 tablespoons of baking soda per quart of water. If available, use 4 to 6 layers of loosely applied gauze and cover the entire area of the burn with the dressing. Keep the patient covered, since there will be a tendency to chill, and treat him for shock, which can be severe in the case of burns. No grease or oil should be applied, as these make it necessary to clean the affected area with solvents before medical treatment can begin. Water-soluble preparations may be used, provided they have been approved by a physician. Be careful when dressing burns and scalds, because they are subject to infection the same as open wounds. Do not break blisters in the burned area, and never permit burned surfaces to come in contact with each other. Apply several layers of dressing, which have been soaked in a water and baking soda solution on the wounds to separate these surfaces. Bandages and cover dressing should be loose enough to prevent pressure on the burned surfaces, and they should be checked frequently to see that they don't become too tight in case of swelling. A severely burned person needs fluids. If medical help is going to be delayed, give him a half glass of a water, salt, and soda solution. This is prepared with 1 level teaspoon of table salt and 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda per quart of water. If medical help is immediately available, do not give him fluids by mouth. Again, treat the injured person for physical shock. The eyes are particularly sensitive to a variety of chemical substances such as lime, cement, caustic soda, acids, and alkalis. When a person has been burned by chemicals, wash the area thoroughly with clean water to dilute the chemical. Do not use a neutralizing solution in the eye. Keep a continuous stream of water flowing over the burned area from a spigot or container for 5 minutes or more. Then give the same first aid treatment as for any other burn. For extensive burns and all other burns on the body, follow the 3 fundamental steps. 1. Remove clothing from the burned area of the body except where stuck to the skin. 2. Apply a cool, moist dressing of gauze or other bandage materials loosely over the burns to separate skin surfaces from contact with one another. 3. Apply an outer dressing using triangular or cravat bandages. Cover the dressing in the same manner that you would a wound or bleeding of the same area. As in the treatment of all serious injuries, the victim must be treated for physical shock, and medical help should be obtained immediately. Prompt, proper treatment is important. It can often mean the difference between life and death.
What, may I ask, is a dear little cupcake like you doing with nasty old school books? My dear child, we haven't had school or books in ages.
No school? Really?
Why don't you get rid of that school book? You can drop them in here.
It'll get all burned up in there.
Well, of course it will, dear child. And so it should. Books tamper with man's basic, natural ignorance. Now, what could be worse than that?
But I can't burn this book. It's school property.
Nonsense! Apple sugar. You just need to get into the mood.
Books are not where it's at, teaching you how to spell cat. I know you'd rather play, so why don't you throw all your books away? Books are made for burning, the fire is already yearning to put an end to any learning.
1, 3, 5, 9, throw 'em in the fire's right.
Put the books in the fire, see the flames growing higher. Burning books is our heart's desire.
2, 4, 6, 8, time to incinerate.
Books will not make you wise, and reading's bad for your eyes. I am sure you agree, so why don't you give all your books to me? Books are made for burning, fire is already yearning to put an end to any learning.
This one here is very good about a man named Robin Hood.
Put the books in the fire, see the flames growing higher. Burning books is our heart's desire.
Though I never liked Tom Sawyer, I won't be a book destroyer.
Books can only confuse, teaching you things you can't use. You should listen to me. Burning your books will set your mind free.
Books are made for burning, fire is already yearning to put an end to any learning. Close the book
I had to show it. I think I showed the Shake Hands with Danger earlier this week, so if it wasn't for Shake Hands with Danger, that would be the song that I would have picked for the toe tapping tournament. If it was up to me, because that song is so good and inflammatory, literally. Anyhow, thanks everybody for tuning in today. Very much appreciate your eyeballs and your attention and your comments. As always, we love when you hit like and subscribe. We love when you comment. We love when you share this with friends, families, enemies, coworkers. You can go to avgeeks.com and see other things that we have online. We have hundreds of shows and thousands of films that we've put online from our collection and from some other people's collections. And as always, of course, coffee. Coffee is the way to reward/punish us. Caffeine is wonderful for us. But everybody have a good 4th of July weekend. I think I will be here. I believe that's the plan on Monday. Maybe we'll show some patriotic stuff then. I already had things kind of planned out today. So if I don't see you, be safe. Have a good weekend. Please rewind and love each other and include yourself in that, loving yourself. Give yourself a break. Sometimes you need to give yourself a break. And we'll see you again on Monday. Everybody take care. Bye.